Nothing but the truth now. Nothing but the proof of what I am. The worst of what I came from. Patterns I'm ashamed of. Things that even I don't understand. I try to fix it.
何十万続くこの人類で同じ時代に生まれたとか何十億のこの生命の中で巡り会えただとかそれだけで十分すごいでしょ奇跡以外ありえないでしょそれなのにどうして僕らは探り合い右に並ぼうとする誰かのため自分のためあなたのためと思ってなんて嘘だろう幸福の平均水準ですそれ以外に価値などありません誰かが作ったこの社会にいつしか夢も愛もなくして期待した分だけ裏切られ寄り添うはずが傷をつけてそれならばいっそのこと今を忘れて来世に期待をしてお金よりも大事なものなんてないけど愛してるって聞かせてどっちが愛とかそれは恋とか人が推し量るものじゃなくて微笑せ合って身を重ねても結局一つにはなれないから違うこと刻みとない同士同じことを笑い合って過ごし増やしたシワの数が僕らだけの幸せの数でいいでしょう
All right, chat. We're back. We're finishing this tonight. Hello, chat. We're finishing this damn boss fight. Also, I apologize about the double. We gotta finish it tonight. Hello, chat. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Whoa, dude. The last boss fight genuine help, really? No. Also, that glitch stuff, yeah? Talk to me. It happened, it started to happen to you? Oh, so it's not me, but only at certain points? Okay. I was like, don't scare me, Splunk. I was like, don't do that to me, please. Okay, bandage. Yes, let me change this stuff. Through the entire time it happened to me 5-ish times? Okay. We're increasing my damn stamina. I'm sorry. Oh, I was gonna say I probably have to go through the cutscene all over again, huh? That's okay, because it's a good cutscene. Alright, let's make it happen. Alright. She's gotta die. You know, I'm gonna let this play one more time. Get a real good look at her face, chat. It's the last time you're gonna see it. Get a real good look at her jaw. I love this fucking Bonnie outfit, man. This is such a good outfit. Get a real good look at her, chat. Also, I just want to say that the Japanese direction for this game, I keep getting asked for Silent Hill, like, bro, I'm aware of the game. Like, you did not just spend, like, money on the game. Ah, shit. They want you to replay it. You said focus attack? I didn't even think to do that. Okay, that was just a horrible plan. There's no fucking way. There's no. If you hold your focus attack out, it makes the window to counterattack the red aura a lot easier. Really? It attacks much longer and easier. What? Okay. We know what's going on. Why'd I even try that? By the way, you can sprint and while. Oh, really? I can. Huge. I didn't even know that. Oh, shoot. I'm thinking, like, oh yeah, you know what? We're not even on the second phase yet. Come on, dude. Okay. And I'm dead. Luckily for the first half of this game, I never use focus attacks. Because focus attacks are, they really are a carrying factor, are they? From right there is actually insane. I missed? Okay. I now see what you're talking about, Spunk. Oh my god. Okay. Let me just focus and lock him. That's okay. Oh, it happens mostly at the end of a. Oh, really? Or the big slam that she does. Really? That I did not know. That's when I can do it. Okay. I see that. Gotta hit right trigger? Okay. And that always happens. As soon as I think that she's about to do it, it's like, no, no, no. Dude, I am so sick of the fact that every time I think that she's about to do the move, she ends up not doing it. If you dodge twice backwards, by the way, you can move out of the attack, out of every one of her attacks she does. Don't gotta do the perfect dodge every time. Oh.
何なの？
Bro, that's gonna piss me off. Every time I go off to go do it. It never works. Bro, I hate this fucking boss so much. Oh my god. I didn't know I could do that. Wait. Holy shit, that's such a game changer. That's such a game changer. Spunk, thank you. Okay. Better with 2 facets. Okay, there we go. That fucking hit me? Okay. Oh my god. Might be the best tech I've ever seen. Truth be told, this might be the best tech in all of Silent Hill F. Oh yeah. Now I know what you are. Never mind. I don't remember if there's one over here or not. The more you refuse, the more you suffer. You might already know, but if you get anything new, it heals you that aren't already in your loadout. You gotta set them out to your loadout manually by pressing down the D-pad. Yeah. Oh my god. Holy shit. I finally locked the fucking... There's an Inventory upgrade you can get after this message. Oh, really? You wanna... Oh. And yield to me. Oh. So this motherfucker could just do that and did nothing about it once.
つきものの分際でここへ踏み入ろうと愚かな。
今のは
君についてきた汚れだろう。もう失せた。安心していい。
Just want to say the Japanese direction for this game is strong. Dude, buddy, the Fox is better than fucking Shu at this point.
属性に生きる以上、汚れがつくことは仕方がない。払えばいいだけのことだ。
Thank fuck, it took me not that long. The easiest boss fight? Honestly, when you told me about that whole focus mode thing and I could figure out how to do that, dude, that boss fight became so much easier. Dude, that boss fight became so much easier. Because before, I didn't do that. Now that I know I can use focus mode right before she attacks, yeah, it's over.
この先は神聖な領域だ。私も君も汚れは持ち込めない。ここで汚れを落とす。
You're really gonna start doing that, by the way? Oh yeah, no, dude, I'm doing that for every boss now. Divine Water is a clutch, dude. Divine Water, I'm keeping with me at all times. All right, Mr. Ketsune man, or come in, Ketsune. No one will get the joke I'm trying to make, but it's okay. Higashi and Divine Water are the best items in the game. Okay. Makes you have infinite stamina for close to a minute. What? Really? Bro, I'm telling you, I wish I had the ability to do that. Dude, let me join a sect. It's over. Let me have dancing blades or the blades of wandering desire. Dude, it's over, dude. You give me that. Oh, it's holy water. Infinite dodge attacks and running. Oh, that's beautiful. Just realized his nails are painted black. Uh-oh. Did he turn water into wine? Is he the Ketsune? Jesus! Actually, dude has the drip on. He's got that shit on him. Oh my lord. No, let me get my waist snatched. It's over, buddy. Like, oi, oi. Let me stop. I apologize to anyone who's watching this. Oh. What the fuck? Her face not coming in was so funny for a second.
大丈夫。ただの水だよ。
What did this girl do, man? What did she do to get to this point in her life where don't trust the fox mask. So it's don't trust the fox mask. It's don't trust Rineko. My fucking pole. Shoo, you're not shit, man. My clothes are dirty. Motherfucker, you pushed me. Man, if I was Hinako, I would bash your damn head in. Dude, my clothes. You just want Shu. Go ask him then. Give him the letter that you kept in his locker. Stop doing this. Confess.
どうした？
行こう。時間を無駄にした。
よし、行こう。
私をちゃんと守ってよ。私、ひなこみたいに強くないんだから。
分かってる。俺
I do want the extra space of yes, the inventory place. Dude, oh my god, I get you like shoot, then tell him.
目指すは俺の家だ。裏道から山を越え県道に出よう。俺が先頭を行く。相棒はしんがり棒。
わかった。私はシュウ君の後ろにいるね。真ん中なら安心だし。
Nowhere to be found. So she does remember. She knows that she did that shit. Head to Shu's house? Yeah, hold on. Dude, my outfit is fucking ruined. Thank God, yes. Please give me more bandages. Oh, my glorious. In Ibushukuya. Open the map? The map. Oh. It even shows me like where I need to go. Oh, that's cool. Thank you, game. Honestly, this city is friggin' huge. Where am I gonna have to go? Up the left, or am I gonna have to go down? Oh crap, where do I even go? Uh-oh. Shu, I don't want to go to your house anymore, man. You're making me lose the funk, man. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but it's okay though. What matters is that the one girl that needs to be gone is gone. And that's okay. 1 second, it's fine. I'm trying to figure out. I need to figure out where to go. Scarecrows are over there. There was so much love that was put into this game, chat. If you need to, please go ahead and tell the developers thank you by bouncing it on its super style. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Konami. Actually, no, don't thank Konami. Thank the developers themselves. You said check chord? Okay. Don't thank Konami. Thank... The girl with the smiling face? Is this at the fucking candy shop? Oh my god, this is at the candy shop. How the hell am I supposed to get to the candy shop? Are you serious? I have to go to where the candy shop is. Okay, can't go that way. Oh, it just said I couldn't go. Interesting. I feel bad for Hanako, man. Clothes are getting ripped up. Your friend's a psychopath. No, I can't even... Can I even call her a friend? That damn girl's nowhere near a friend. I'm willing to offer. Okay, I'm gonna want to go down. Okay, all right. You know, we're off to a great start this stream. Okay.
大丈夫か、相棒。化け物につけられてないか。
問題ない。シュウ君っていつまでひなこのこと相棒って呼ぶの？
Are you serious?
相棒なんて呼び方、小学生の男子みたい。
Are you serious?
俺は相棒を女扱いしてない。
そうだな。
された覚えもない。
Dude, Rinko has to
終わり
be.
だ行くぞ
If you just like him, tell him. Open up that fucking notebook you have and say, Shukun, nan. Hold on, Nanda, fuck. Nanda, how would I say it? Is it No, hold on. Not Nanda Shoko. Hold on. Yeah, it'd be like, you know, she could just be like, Shokun, nani ga suki? And then he's gonna say, Hanako-san. And then he's gonna be like, na te. And I'm just gonna be like pissed off. I'm sorry. That joke took me too fucking long to think of. Don't worry about it. Hanako might be the word. Not Hanako, sorry. Rinko. I'm not going in those fields. I'm trying to remember how I was trying to remember how to speak Japanese for a second. My apologies. Herb missing an arm is making me sad. Dude, who doesn't want to go to school in a bunny outfit? Come on now. Hello? Okay, so I gotta go down. Oh, I'm gonna hit the candy shop. Oh, perfect. Never mind. Spunk, we'll be okay. I can hit the candy shop then. Oh, fuck off! Shoo, don't piss me off. I learned that apparently neither Shu nor Hanako like each other. Okay.
お前の宇宙戦争だって妙な宇宙人がどんどん増えてっただろうが。
ひなこってしゅうくんと話すときは男の子みたいな喋り方だよね。
And what's wrong with that?
昔の癖が今も抜けないからかな。
俺たちは幼い頃からの付き合いだからな
ふん。だから男女の関係にはならなかったってわけ。
Why don't you just fucking ask?
今はそんな話をしてる時じゃないぞ
Yeah, perfect. Where aliens invade Earth? Really? That's funny. Oh my god, talking about, oh, that's why you guys don't get a relationship. Woman, if you don't just fucking ask. You'd be like, oh, Shukun, nani ga suki? Oi, oi, oi. Be a fucking shoujo manga for all I care. Oh, Shukun. Wait, no. Isn't it technically because he's the senior, that'll be Shusan? Is this real? Are we? Oh, so this is just... Okay. 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 I'm a woman with a bat. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go that way. Oh. Oh. Oh, right in the fucking head. Wait, how the fuck did she get out? Oh shit! Oh my days. Better swing. Why is the game like? Why is my frames dropping? What the hell? What is the game at? Yeah, why is it doing that? Dude, this game might just be not optimized for PC. Because why? What? Dude, why?
相棒はこっちだ。
Is the Unreal Engine 5? Is that what it is? Dude, because this is insane. Oh, my inventory has increased. Beautiful. Yeah, dude, why am I... Like, I know I'm on a 2060, so I understand that, like, things can't be too bad, but, like... The way that this game is doing things, you would think for my CPU, I'm at a nice, smooth, is 50%. Like, what the hell? It only crashes in certain areas, too? Like, that's what I mean, like... Dude, what am I supposed to do here? So what, I'm just not supposed to play games on my PC? Dude, why am I still up here? The entire time. Why is it choppy? Ow. Oh, hell no. Now after ending, rewatching some stuff, it started to make a lot of sense. Okay.
街を飲み込む気なのか。
化け物が多すぎる。
Bro, can the game... Hold on, chat. Is it me? Nothing's on, nothing's open. Well, of course, besides one thing, but... Give me 1 second, chat. Hold on. Give me 1 second, chat. Hold on. Memory makes sense. My GPU... How the hell is it that my OBS is taking more of my GPU than the actual fucking client itself? This is insane. Okay, I think we're good to go. Okay. Dude, Unreal Engine 5 is a mess.
街を突っ切るのは危険すぎる。
私たちの千鶴や。どう
The
してこんな
Chizurita.
中学校の方へ向かってそこから山道を登ろう。だいぶ遠回りになるが街は避けられる。よし行こう。
Okay. Dude. Dude. Nope, just keep running, even if the game starts fucking up. Just gotta keep running. Gotta keep running. I got nothing. Not a damn thing I can. Okay. Really, would really like to not have any issues. Yeah, it did. Oh, you're right. It did. Which means we can go this way. Ooh. Oh. Farmer starter, son, you better read this and get it through your thick head. Let me take you back something that happened during the world. One day, some high and mighty military police from out of town got pissed drunk and decided to not kick over. You get a lot of you don't get upgrades for it. It's kind of upgrades. You get a lot of more upgrades towards the end of the game rather than the beginning. Okay. And decided to kick over the statue in your house and even spat on it. The next one, all those policemen were found dead in the hall and the waterway. Their corpses were bloated and heavy as hell. They got carted off to the medical examiner's office so the coroner could look. The courier could look. Take a look, and you know that place a few minutes from us. I was one of the people who helped carry the bodies and wash them, so I saw everything with my own two eyes. When that doctor put his knife to their bellies and opened them up, a whole swamp of stomach charring gunk came out pouring out. And I don't mean guts either, from neck to navel. Hell, even right up their asses. Their bodies were stuffed full of decomposing rats, birds, frogs, snakes, you name it. And that look, I'll never froze terror. I'll never The note is told a lot through the notes. Okay. Their faces I'll never forget. Anyways, more of the story is that you better not ever disrespect Inari-sama in any way, even if you're drunk. Oh wow. Okay. So it's Stellar Blade all over again. Oh shoot. No bitch. No bitch. Oh my god. There's too many of you. Oh my god. Bro. Where am I supposed to go? Oh! Damn it, bitch. I said let go. Okay. No, dude. What do you mean something fucking flew by? So happy I saved. Oh, piss off. I saw that. Are you serious? I'm gonna fight a monkey or something?
二人はどこに
Yeah, dude. Where did they go? So right now it's turning like into like a oh hell no situation.
ひなこ、こっち。
Okay. The heck is it? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god. Damn it, bitch. I said let go. So I'm guessing those things are a pain in the ass and spunk. Starting to seem like it, oh boy. They're just really fast? Okay. Okay, so you're telling me you want me to... Oh, fuck off. What do you mean I'm not in my right mind? You're lost, that's all? Okay. Broom, maybe? No. No broom. Okay. Hikayashi, an assortment of small fruit-flavored candies that melt in your mouth full, restore stamina, and prevent stamina consumption. Oh, what? The goat item? Oh, hell no.
新しい武器を見つけなきゃ。
That's why I have 3 with me. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. $80. I don't have shit.
Shu-kun, 嘘ついてるよね。
Okay.
知らねえよ。
騙せてると思うひなこを。
Huh?
ひなこ、遅かったな。心配したぜ。
心配してなかったよ。相棒なら絶対に大丈夫って言ってた。そうか。
Bro,
ありがとう。
why are you upset? Like, generally, if you're upset, go tongue him down. Okay, I'm done. Go do that. Being Miss Little Prissy for what? Is that some shukun? Hi, Hanako-san. I mean, no. Hi, Riko-san. Nani desu? Oh. Nani? Nani desu? Oh. Mate, mate. Hanako-san. I mean, I can't say it. I was trying to say I mean in fucking Japanese, but look at me. Ontero. Damn, actually, you know what? My Japanese has gotten better. For me to be able to speak entire fucking fluent sentences like this again, it's been a while. When you find out you're unwashed. Peak cinema. Oh, yay, my favorite. Dried carcasses.
供え物だったよね。
Okay. You know, fuck off. Run. Please go. Would have fucking died.
それどころじゃない。
Oh, okay. Run, Hanako, run! Where am I going? Up here. Hanako, please.
前の台風で崩落してそのままになってる。
Dude, you've got to be kidding me, really? So I have to go down and then around.
くそー。
Okay. Not the bat. I'm actively liking the bat. This makes me so sad.
これが壊れたらどうする？
We're okay. Isn't it too early to release it for these? Oh. Dude, I thought that tree was something else, and I was like, oh shit.
やめてくれ。そんな話
Okay.
はしたくない。
What are you talking about,
や
Shu?
めないよ。シュウ君がしっかりと現実を見るまでやめない。
だからやめてくれ。俺は
なら言ってあげる。ひなこはね、死んだんだよ。ひなこは向こうの世界で楽しくやってるんだから。
相棒、遅かったな。さあ、行こうぜ。
What? The fuck? You can't just say that and expect me not to say anything. Hanako, don't say it's true. Are you actually dead? What happened after your parents' fight? What happened?
昔はシュウとこの辺で道草食ってた。
Oh, Hanako. Oh, Hanako, what happened?
鍵がかかってる。 なかった
Yeah, no, this fucking frame rate is crazy.
学校にあるはずだ。
ちょっと休憩しようよ
Dude, this fucking frame rate issue is crazy. If this on the way to school, oh. Hanako is ready with her pole at hand. Ready to beat the shit out of Renko. And I 100% approve.
もうダメしばらく休ませて
相棒も疲れただろう。休んでてくれ。俺は鍵を探してくる。
分かったえシュウ君が一緒じゃないと嫌だよ心細いよお願い一緒にいて
別に俺が一緒じゃなくて
相
も。
棒も少し休め鍵は私が探す
そうだよシュウ君はずっと戦闘で頑張ってたんだから後からついてくるだけだったひな子の方が余裕あるって
おい、
Fucking
そ
crazy.
んな言い方をするなよ。
私は気にしない二人とも休んでてくれ
Nah, Renko can go, man. I'd be like, man, if I was Hanako, I'd be like, no, bitch, come here. I'm dragging you by your hair. And I would be like, hold on. No. I'd be like, Shibai.
卒業以来だな
I tell you. Shika. Let me calm down. Bro. This is not a K-drama. What are you saying? Oh, fuck off. Have fun? This is a ride? Oh boy.
キーボックスが開かない
To all faculty on patrol duty, to ensure all students from the going to the sexual to explore this please ensure the corridor is locked at them. They are on patrol this week as vice principal. Okay, where's the vice principal's office? The fuck? Huh? Buy as much of that fountain land as you can. Borrow money if you must, or for it will surely bring your great wealth. Shortly, therefore, the country commended their dam construction plan, and the mountain Mr. Yondere had purchased was indeed a boon. He spent every last yen he earned on his hometown in Ibishiguya Ayako. One result of this generosity was Ibishugayo Middle School. Mr. Yonde donated the Inori statue and housed it. And it inside the small shrines inside. Oh, wow. Saying that the flocks blessed him. Found me. Ooh, locker room, my favorite. Okay. So for every room I have, a lot. One of the vice principals also supposed to be on the second floor. Nope. All right. So I'm gonna go find it down here. And mind you, there's not a single A single checkpoint over here. This is a problem. I gotta go to the vice principal's office, huh? Just read everything you can. That's exactly what I was thinking. First off, I want to head over to the vice principal. Hold on. Wait, this is a Japanese school. Hold on. Hold on. I come in. Stairs, of course. Yeah, this leads to the second floor. Principal's office is either on second, or third, or the first floor. So it's on the first floor. It's always on the left. So when you bow... Well, this is George. Okay. The vice principal was so paranoid about his keys that he always takes them with him whenever he leaves. So it's kind of wrong that he lost the keys to the stairwell. He's looking for them frantically like a madman. He had the nerve to ask me for help, but I have paperwork after. Oh, the stairwell.
キーボックスが開かない。
Oh, perfect. A Yukon. If it's on the stairwell, it's just not a matter of which one. Is it up here? Maybe it's down here. Maybe it's left. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's... Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I never went to the other one to the far left. Oh, boy. Hold the freak up. Have I gone back here at all? Oh, I do.
この祠、学校創立より古いとか。ダム建設で一山当てた成金がわざわざここに学校を建てたって聞いたことがある。
Interesting. How it looks like someone heard my prayers to whatever God who answered them. Thank you. Okay. Not a damn Emna at all. Okay. So it's all right. So let's see here. I'm probably gonna have to end at like 1:15. On the stairwell. Charasamus, grown by our very own. Oh, it's a flower. By our own very own vice principal. I have won the governor's prize. Did you know that the vice principal? You probably got another 3 minutes left on this. Okay, his exquisite took the prize in their category, held by the Professional Council. If you haven't already, take this opportunity to mess with. Okay. So he has a flower. So he lost it on the stairwell. Just a matter of where on the stairwell. So I'm looking for flowers. The note's the key. Oh. Oh, I don't know. Okay. He had the nerve to ask me to find them. Okay. The vice principal enjoyed the gardening, the water beds, and the school gardens. The school gardens outside. The school garden. Oh, I never went over there, did I? School garden. Oh, I never also checked going in that room. Okay, so now it's a matter of figuring out how this opens. All right, let's see here. The water and waters the flower beds and school gardens on his free time. Okay.
ひな子が苦しんでる。俺には相棒を放っておくことはできない。
Let me hear this.
まで相棒ごっこ続けるの？もうあなたには相棒なんていないんだよ。
Why do you think that? Okay, so we come here, we find the water bed. Okay, so there's realistically 3 options we can choose. What if he has the water bed? What if he has the key in the girls' locker room? Hmm. Loka was just about to lay the bed and then remembered you left her long. Hold on. 7. All right, where's the next number? 7. 7 what? Where's the last number? 770 question mark? 7. Huh.
反応なしか。
Hold on. I've yet to find the key, unfortunately. 7. Well, you know, maybe I should do the ones that are on the door. 7. And you know, maybe that makes more sense. Would I like a hint? Well, I didn't even check in here. Oh, the water. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Here we go. I found. You've got to be fucking with me, right? You know what? On second thought. have to. So we now know where I need to go. I would like to save. Hold on. Because I realistically got into like 115. Then after that, I'll have to leave. Oh, excuse me. I don't know why it did not click with me to look outside. That scared the shit out of me. Alright. Yes, in his flower bed. And now he's gone. Bro, this frame rate is Run away, Hanako. Shit, I was gonna say we could go in here. Oh, yes we can. Alright, another one of these cranes. I mean, not cranes, only go. Okay. Wait, hold up. What the hell? Strange. Okay, anything over here? Okay. Can we please run? Can we please run? Hold on. Okay. Oh. Oh, Jesus. I was just gonna come the fuck on, please. I tried attacking. Okay, weird. Oh, and yep, okay. Alrighty, chat. So we're gonna end it off here. Yeah, we're gonna end it off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's stream. I know it's late. I know it's only an hour, and I know that's like why. But of course, I wanted to give